Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Ankush here from Alif Consulting. Welcome in our Azure Data Warehouse case study. In this case study, we will be going to talk about how customer have taken the advantage of Azure Data Services to build their data warehouse on Azure. In this video, we will be going to talk about the customer. We're going to talk about what the challenges are. We're going to talk about the solution overview. We're gonna understand how the solution design look like and then what is their future goals are, right? So let's quickly jump into the customer overview and understand what this customer is. So this customer is one of the India leading private sector bank with expanding presence across the country. The bank offer specialized services under five business vertical, namely corporate and institutional banking, commercial banking, branch and business banking, retail assets, and financial marketing markets operations. It's currently serve over around 10.66 million customer across a network of 500 branches, 1,424 business correspondence branches, and 407 ATMs spread across 28 states and union territory. This bank is listed on both NSE and BSE. Right? So this is all about the customer. Now, what is the challenge customer was having? So the customer was facing a challenge in maintaining the timely availability of the business data every day for smooth function of the banking and the business analysis functions. For the enterprise data warehouse, bank was using an on-premise solution that had a in-memory database due to the in-memory compute of the software processing of daily data and make it available to the business user before a workday begin on every day was a significant challenge. Often, the enterprise data warehouse would process a day data until late evening next day, creating almost a day delay in making the data availability for a business reporting and analysis and the risk protections etc. Looking for faster alternatives, the bank started a proof of concept testing with multiple partners on Azure Cloud, Data Lake, Synapse, and two other compute products. Some set of data was ingested into the test solution, and the result was Azure for the time taken to process into the desired summary output table. Result were also compared with on-premise processing time. So this customer was having a problem. So see, that on-premise data warehouse, you do have a plenty of options to do that, right? You can use the SQL databases. You do have other open source data warehouses things, right? But the problem here is with the like that is the in-memory database, which means they have to process the data, right? That's take almost a day to process the data for the next day, which is a kind of delay for this customer. So what they did actually, they started using the Azure Data Lake, Synapse, and two other compute products to test their proof of concept and see what are the data warehouse capabilities Azure Data Services can give them to do the faster way, doing the business in a faster way, or giving the data to the users or to the business users on a regular basis without having the delay or much delay into the process. Now let's talk about the solution overview. Let's talk about the solution. So the time was found that Azure was the most efficient solution. The processed and generated the required output in the least amount of time and the frequency comparing with the other solutions. The scale up and scale down feature for of the Azure helped manage the load compilation as per the needed before the day began. The bank have deployed Azure services including the Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Lake, Databricks, Synapse, Enterprise Power BI for the uh, graphical overview of the services over the for the operation. The implementation of these services lead the following benefits. The Azure Data Factory monitoring tool through its web compatibilities help the IT team to easily understand, manage, execute corrective action as a timely basis. As the technology is based on the SQL, new recruiters could be easily trained on it. Power BI can easily deploy the reports. Synapse support around a 600% transactional growth across the channels with no drop into the performance, right? So by having the cloud native native features, right, or by using the cloud native services, it's not all about the Azure. Either you go on the AWS, either you go into the GCP, right? You get a lot of capabilities. Scale in, scale up, and scale down is one of the capability which is not there into the on-premise. To achieve that into the on-premise, you need to do a lot of changes, a lot of new technologies need to be, or new services need to be introduced into the environment. However, when you talk about the cloud, it's very easy and straightforward. Now, getting the now this data Azure Data Factory is completely on the database, so you don't need to worried about recruiting, helping or training the other new recruiters. They can easily understand or train on it as soon as they know the data, right? So there is a growth around 600% growth on the transactional growth, which Synapse is supporting right now to this customer. Azure Service provides the faster processing and lower price performance ratio, and it easier to adopt and maintain them. Uh, these are now used to process core banking, microfinancial, and credit card data by 9:30 a.m. every day. Make it available to the business user. The outcomes seen by end user are positive and the powerful. What are the outputs? Those are users get daily extracts of the required data through Azure Data Factory and Synapse. They receive deep dive insight through the Power BI report and dashboards. The business analysts can access Synapse using the client tool and analyze the historical data using the SQL interface. So these are the three benefits which end user is getting. Now this is how the solution design is. So they are using the Azure Data Lake to ingest the data. You can see they are having a multiple data sources from where they are putting their data into the data lake, and then they're having the data factory on top of it, and then they're using the Synapse for the analytics services, and then they're having the analysis service, and that analysis service is basically connecting with the Power BI for the visualization. So this is how their whole process work, right? So they're ingesting the data into the data lake ingest doing the ingestion, and then they're having a Synapse analytics where they are storing the data for analysis for doing the analysis, and then they have Azure analysis services, sorry, to do the analysis, and Power BI is something where you can deploy tons of reports for the visualization, which end user can log in on the Power BI and can see it as soon as they have the access to the Power BI. So what is their future goal is? Now this is how they have basically, uh, get out of their on-premise data warehouse solution, right? Now they have simplified their whole the data warehouse solution, and they that allow the end users or the business users, not end users, sorry, business users to get the data on the timely manner on the right time with deep dive analysis. Now bank is working on a possibility of real-time data ingestion in the future, and they are also exploring the AI/ML use case to be implemented as a next phase. The existing Azure architecture would be a augmented to implement these use case. So the future goal for them is to do the real-time data ingestion. So as of now, what they do the data ingestion on the every day before their work day or before the day is started. But that is not a real time, right? There is a delay. Now customer want, or this bank want to do the real-time ingestion, so that as soon as they get the data in the data warehouse, the data should be immediately ingested into the data lake or data factory solution, right? So they are working on that. They are planning to do that, and also they are exploring the AI/ML use case, because as we know, AI/ML is going to be largely used by the organization going forward to do the better productivity of the application or the workload. So this is what their future goal is. Well, that's it in this case study. I hope you like this case study. If you like, please click on like and subscribe for more case studies, and feel free to reach us if you have any questions. Thank you.